Storytelling has always been an important way to share information. Nothing is better than hearing a good story that you cannot wait to share. And that's what podcasting is too, is sharing stories. But in order to get your stories heard, it is essential to plan your audio well.
Here are the 5 things you need to think through when planning a podcast series. Number 1 is a goal. Why are you doing your podcast? You would actually be surprised how many start making a podcast without actually thinking why are they doing it. So start your podcast planning like any other planning. Set yourself a goal.
I'm a radio host. For many years, I have worked as a radio host. And we know that sometimes we are just voices in your background. But in a world of mobile phones, audio is something new. Imagine someone walking, scrolling on their screen. The gaze is directed downwards. Now, imagine someone walking while using their headphones, listening to a podcast. The gaze goes forward and it goes around.
Number 2 is the listener. Why is the listener listening? After you set your goal, it's a good idea to think about the listener. Who's going to be listening and why? And what is the listener getting? Because the truth is, if the listener does not find your episode somehow valuable, they're not going to listen.
Our listeners are ready to look up. And that's good because we all have some screen fatigues at this point. But audio offers us that possibility. That is one of the many reasons for the growing consumption of podcasts.
The third piece of advice is attraction. What is the thing in your podcast that's going to attract listeners? Either the host or the subject will work as an attraction for the podcast. So are you making a news podcast or is Michelle Obama your host? Either way, make sure that you know that you've decided on an attraction that keeps bringing listeners back.
A podcast is not an on-air product. It is an on-demand one. And as such, is better adapted to the needs and the preferences of an audience who is used to consuming media when they want. But that is not enough.
That's why number 4 is format. How do you present your content, your attraction? Does the format always have to be an interview? In a crowded market, a format is a way to stand out. So, plan how to showcase your attraction the best possible way and use your imagination.
Podcast is not a one-click product. It is a non-instant reaction content, as some authors says. As podcasters, we need listeners to stay with us. Podcasting, with its potential to share knowledge, to show us what's universal in individual experience, to share information, offers the possibility to meeting those expectations with almost no time or space restrictions. Podcasting may help us to expand and even to renew some journalistic genre. It can even bring new life into some of our most traditional sections, like the old police beat, translated and transformed into podcast, into the popular true crime genre. But we also know that format and content are not that separate aspects of podcasting.
So, number 5 is technology. How does your audio sound? Good sound quality equals professional. And bad sound quality is not so professional. We're talking about audio here, aren't we? In a world where the most of the listening is done by headphones, sound quality really matters. You don't want your attraction to sound bad or untrustworthy, only because you've done mistakes with recording or editing. You have to sound good.
As good as possible. In times when attention is a scarce commodity, audio offers multiple resources to engage the audience and can drive a rich creative development into journalism. We have voices, we have historical records, we have music, sound effects, ambient sounds, and all that can be part of podcasting with limited costs. Journalism can expand its audience in podcasts, but it can only do so if we place listeners at the core of our work.